Hello, everyone. I'm back. We have fixed the technical issues, and we are going to play Hero of Law, which is an Ocarina of Time mod, I guess, that converts Ocarina of Time into an Ace Attorney game. There we go. So this will be fun. I'm pretty sure. I found out about this game like a few months ago, maybe like 2 months, I think, when Vinesauce started streaming it. So quiet. Do you think they forgot? Forget a royal visitation. No one can make such a blunder, princess. Well, I guess I should just go in then. No. Talon and Malin. Oh, the typewriter thing. R17th High Road Grand Court. Defendant Lobby number 3. Oh, that's good. Alright, hold on. I just want to finish up my intro here, I guess. So I found out about the game because Vinesauce was playing it, and he started playing it. I watched like the first 5 or so minutes, and then was like, I gotta stop watching because I really want to stream this myself. So I've seen the first 5 minutes, like the introduction of the different attorneys and lawyers, and it's just good. It's good. So we're gonna have fun, I think, tonight. Is it not enter? Hey, okay. You'd think that after so many years of doing this, I'd be used to the stress. So why am I shaking? Yeah, guess it's a lot worse when it's your friend's life that's on the line. Come on, gotta look professional. I can't see you like this. Speaking of her, though, where is she anyway? Hey, you, over there. What is it, attorney? Trial isn't starting yet. But it will soon, right? Would you happen to know why my client isn't here yet? I didn't get to speak much with her when she was arrested, so I was hoping I could at least exchange a word with her now. Well, you aren't the only one with the idea. I believe she's currently in the prosecutor's lobby. You want to talk to her as well. What? What's up with this guy? Bars me from the crime scene, blocks my detention center visits, and now this? Not to worry. She'll definitely be here before the trial. Great. It'll be a joyous 5 minutes indeed. There's nothing I can do now but wait. Some time later. Okay, this is ridiculous. How much longer can he keep her? Sorry, there she is. No, oh, sorry, C. There she is. Don't you get all worked up? Something wrong? Did I hear shouting? So much for looking professional. No. Don't worry. Everything's fine. This is Malin. Ever since we met at Hyrule Castle Town all those years ago, we've been great friends. Her heart's in the right place. I know she cared deeply about her father. Everything's fine. Why do you look so worried? Well, how did the investigation go? Did you find anything? Yes, the investigation. I found tons of groundbreaking stuff. Particularly that my opponent's a real scumbag. What did the prosecutor want from you anyway? Well, mostly just threats. He kept explaining in detail what happened to me if I'm found guilty. Doesn't sound like a vital discussion that you have right before the trial. Probably just that so we wouldn't have as much time to talk. You believe in me, right? I didn't do it. I never. Of course I believe you. Well. No, of course we believe her. Although, I'll be honest, things aren't looking very good right now. What's she got in her hand? What's that you got there? Oh, this is just a pictograph of father I carry around. Just can't believe he's gone. Got it. Pona, another horse. An indigo. Or an ego. Wish I knew how to cheer up right now. I'm not very good at handling emotional clients. Hey, you know, that pictograph could be really useful for the trial. Oh, how so? Well, you'd look so happy together. And presented to show that you two had a great relationship. You really think so? Well, here you go then. At least we're walking there with something other than my badge. But wait, we shouldn't just be idly chatting. Anyway, there's not much time left. I know it's hard to talk about, but can you tell me what actually happened? I don't stand much chance if I don't know your version of the story. I understand. Fortunately, there isn't. Trial starting. Defendant, attorney, please enter the courtroom at once. Oh, should have said that stuff about having no chance. Alright, everything will be fine. The prosecutor has been playing with me a fool since this began, but sooner or later his arrogance will be his undoing. Let's head inside. My name is Link. Been a defense attorney for the last 7 years. Won my fair share of cases and lost them too, but this one's personal. There's so much at stake here. Not only do I have to save Malon's life, gotta find out who did this to Talon. Talon was always so kind. He didn't deserve this. I need to do him justice. Can't lose. Court is now in session for the trial of Malon. This is the fucking Sage of Light. Court is now in session for the trial of Malon of London Ranch. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Sincerely doubt that. What were they thinking, picking me against some pathetic kid? Look, he's got like the water tunic, except it's so good. They made him a little attorney outfit. Pathetic kid? What gives you the right to... Still your tongue. You ain't shamed upon the fine color of your hair, vile woman. Before long, the world shall know the horrible deeds you committed. Let us not prolong the inevitable. Shall we begin? No. This court is no place to be exchanged insults. Since the prosecution seems ready as well, let's hear their opening statement. The opening statement should also be the closing one. The girl did it. It's obvious. She killed her own father in cold blood. All so she could have the ranch to herself. Couldn't wait for the old fool to die, naturally. Could you greedy little rat? Your Honor, you can't allow this man to verbally abuse the defendant like this. She committed murder, kid. She deserves every bit of scorn she gets. I do believe a little less commentary wouldn't go amiss. Bah! I assure you, old man, you will change your opinion once you see all the damning evidence. Is this guy? How can you speak to the judge like that? Gendorf Dragmeyer. Most I've been lucky to avoid meeting this man until now. The stories I've heard about him must be true. A boorish barbarian of a man hailing from the Gerudo province. Apparently he prides himself on a nearly clean streak he's cultivated for decades. All while disrespecting everyone in the court, including the judge. I even heard some attorneys refer to him as the King of Evil. Definitely has that look at the very least. Who wears full armor to court? Very well. Please present your case to the court. You don't seem to like me talking, so I'll just let the detective present the basics. Bring him from the Sheikah force to the stand. The Sheikah are the police. That makes sense. Well, here we go. First battle. I know him, but she's quite a competent detective, which worries me. Please let her have made a mistake just this once. Oh God, I never got to see Impa when I was watching Vine, so I closed it up before then. She has a coat. All right, state your name and whatever it is you pretend to do. You never change, do you, prosecutor? Any possible change would be for the worse. Now stop wasting your time. Name an occupation. Very well. I'm Impa, head detective of the Sheikah Force, Homicide Division. True for now, at least. What are you waiting for? Start talking. You're the one assigned to this case, so you know all about it. Calamity has befallen our fair kingdom. Still can't be bothered to give a proper opening statement. I suppose I can do the prosecutor's job from this time for the sake of an unbiased look. Please go ahead, detective. The incident happened early yesterday morning on Lon Lon Ranch, a local supplier of goods located just south of Castletown. The current owner of the homestead, Talon, was found dead in his ranch house. A tragic loss for our kingdom for sure. I've seen the men around Castletown a number of times delivering goods. Quite. The music. It's the owl. The owner was a rather important figure in the local community. In any case, we're all alerted to the scene of the murder by the Royal Guard. We're there on official business. Official business? What kind? As I understand, the ranch provides the kingdom with vital services. To ensure it's operating as it should, and as a gesture of appreciation, the Crown orders a visitation to the ranch every year. I see. Scheduled annual visit. Continue, detective. When the Sheikah Force arrived, they found the victim bleeding out onto the floor. Next to him lay his daughter, Malin, breathing but unresponsive. After a thorough investigation, we arrested her, as she was deemed the only possible culprit. That about covers the gist of what happened. Very nice and succinct. Keep that up and perhaps you'll keep your job. I don't think the good detective out there has to worry much about that, given she's the head of the department. Which reminds me, why is the head detective herself on a case like this? Were the other detectives unavailable? That'd be because I have been assigned to this case by order of the King of Hyrule himself. The King himself assigned you? That doesn't happen very often, does it? You are correct, Your Honor. Not usually involved in field work like this. This time, however, the King felt it necessary because of who was involved. Who is involved? Is the death of a ranch worker really such a concern for the King? Well, as I said, Lon Lon Ranch is a very important supplier of goods, to be sure. But that's not who I meant. Is she holding a knife? I imagine the King wanted the top investigators on this job because it was the royal princess herself who discovered the crime scene. Order! Out of order! The royal princess Zelda witnessed the crime? Huh! And there you have it. This case rides on the princess's own words. Doubt would be to doubt your own royalty. This is bad. Can't really object to that. Very well. The princess is testifying today. It's better we don't make her needlessly wait. Detective, please testify about exactly why the defendant was arrested. Witness testimony. The reasons for arrest. Alright, here we go. It is with regret that I agree with Dragmire. All the evidence points towards this girl being the culprit. We determined that the murder definitely took place inside of the ranch house. There are only 3 people in the ranch. The victim, the defendant, and a worker who has an alibi for the time of the crime. The defendant was found unconscious right in front of the victim, who was bleeding out onto the floor. Furthermore, she was holding a weapon. Without a doubt, that's what was used to kill the victim. She seems like such a bright girl. It's most unfortunate. Your Honor, I'd like to submit these pieces of evidence to the court. First, I have the autopsy report, performed by the crown top corner. Here's what we determined to be the murder weapon, which we took from the defendant's hands. To make sure we had the correct weapon, we conducted a very thorough investigation. Naturally, we searched everyone and thoroughly examined the ranch and its vicinity. Nothing unusual was found, but to be safe, we also checked the ranch's inventory list to see whether anything was missing. The list matches the items we found on the ranch exactly, and nothing but the saw had fresh blood on it. That does sound quite compelling. This must have been a truly terrifying scene. Dying from a wound made by a weapon like this is extremely painful for you. This only helps to prove the defendant's viciousness. At this rate, they're gonna paint Malin some heartless monster. There's one more thing I feel I should mention for the sake of completeness. Shortly after we arrived at the ranch, a courier showed up to take some milk shipments. Of course, business must go on. Is this really necessary to enter in evidence, though? The shipments did end up leaving the ranch, so I feel it bears mentioning. Were the contents checked before you let them go? Yeah, did the murderer escape with that? Naturally. Who do you take us for? Even though the worker handling the shipment did get quite worked up about it, we cracked all the boxes open and checked what was inside. In the end, it did turn out to be only milk bottles, so we let them through. Very well. Thank you for your thoroughness, detective. So, what happens now? Good question. Well, this is where I step in and perform a cross-examination. Great. How's that work? Huh? Could you explain what you're gonna be doing? Can't hurt to go over this again. I mean, we know how it works for Ace Attorney games, but it might be different for the mod, so... The witness will repeat her testimony. I'll be able to scroll back and forth through individual statements by pressing A and B, or with the control stick. They'll just repeat as many times as you want. That's right, to consider every little detail. Can't miss a thing. If I want more info about something, I can use the L or Z to press the statement and ask the witness a question. Going for info. Yep. Since the witness has to come up with an answer on the spot, if they're lying, prompting for more info can make them slip up. Most importantly, though, if I find something that doesn't line up with the evidence, I can press R to bring up a court record. Court record is basically a list of all the evidence, right? Yes. I can open it at any time if I need to recheck the facts. After choosing the contradicting item, I'll press the up C button to raise an objection and present my doubts to the court. I can not only present evidence but profiles as well. Profiles? The court record contains a list of all the people involved too. You can switch between evidence and profiles with R. If I need to review what was said recently, I can also press start to see a history of messages. I see, that makes sense. Is the defense done whispering? Sorry. He's so upset about it. Why doesn't he just press the C button, the right C button, skip ahead? Defense is ready to cross-examine the witness. Bah! Waste of time. I sincerely hope you're not implying that standard court procedure is a waste of time, Mr. Dragmire. In any case, we're ready, defense. Please begin the cross-examination. Okay, I'm going to save state. The reasons for arrest. I do want to take a look at the court record real quick, though. Proof, I see. Shot a photo of Malin with her father. Press the A button to view. Deep, irregular wound made with a sharp metal object. Victim died from loss of blood no later than 8 a.m. Alright, 8 a.m. Clean of blood. Weird. Name Ingo. Okay, so Ingo took the whatchamacallit. There's supposed to be 3 axes. Anything about milk here? No, not really. Okay. March 15th. Some shipments of milk that left the ranch a little while after the crime. Okay. Well, the clean up blood part is suspicious for sure. No later than 8 a.m. I guess let's look at the profiles as well. Malin. Oh, I like that they're using the what's it called? Like the art for this is like the art on the box or in the guidebooks or the manual. With regret that I agree with Dragmaro. Yep. Murder took place inside the ranch house. Victor defendant and worker as an alibi. Two defendants unconscious, bleeding on the floor. Holding a weapon without doubt that was used to kill the victim. I feel like we could maybe use the clean blade here. But let's do what we normally do with Ace Attorney games. And let's begin the pressing. What makes you think she's the culprit? She's just about to tell you. Keep quiet and listen. Oh, right. Sorry. Indeed, as I was saying. And just how did you do that? It's quite simple. There was no blood found anywhere else. Had the victim been attached to some other location, we expect a trail of it leading to the scene. Okay. Couldn't the killer have just cleaned it all up? Certainly not. The path to the ranch house at Lomlom Ranch is not paved in any way. Cleaning blood off the ground would require disturbing the soil. Naturally, we found nothing of the sort. Ah, would have been enough time to pull that off anyway. Likely true. Right, so the location of the crime is pretty firm. But I'm not giving up yet. This feels like a good one to press on. 3 people, you say? I guess that would have to be Mr. Indo. Let me stop you before you start getting too excited. If you had listened to the rest of what the detective said, you know she mentioned an alibi. Indeed, we're pretty certain that the ranch worker couldn't have been involved. Well, what is this alibi then? Remember that I brought up some outgoing milk shipments? Well, the worker, Ingo, was in charge of them. He left the ranch house first thing in the morning and was busy preparing the shipments after that. First thing in the morning, so before 8 a.m., you mean? Is that so? Surely you could have gotten away from that one for one really quick little murder. Bah, this wouldn't just be a quick little murder, as you so crudely put it. He had to take steps to hide his involvement, too. There's definitely not enough time for that. Unfortunately, I agree. Preparing a shipment is a lot of work. You need to milk all the cows, clean all the bottles, pour the milk out into them, arrange them all into crates, and finally load it all up onto a wagon. Usually I had to do it together with Father to finish before the courier arrived. It's a lot of work for one person. The shipment was already ready when we arrived at the ranch. When we checked the boxes, they were all fully loaded with filled milk bottles. So this Ingo was able to do the work of 2 people all on his own? Isn't that a bit odd? Odd or not, he evidently did just that. Clearly, he's a man dedicated to his job. Or perhaps the grandmother father is very inefficient. The whole thing seems awfully suspicious if you ask me. Except, I guess I have nothing to dispute it with. Defendant was found unconscious right in front of the victim, who was bleeding on the floor. Whoops. Sorry. Malin fainted? Correct. We couldn't get her to wake for a long time. Eventually, we decided to administer a healing fairy so she could be questioned. I guess finding the body was just that much of a shock, huh? No, I imagine that she got hit on the head and then, like, framed, you know? Probably just pretending, trying to make it look like she had really found the body. In any event... And how can you be so sure of this? Look at the autopsy report. Deep, irregular wound made with a sharp metal object. The saw was the only sharp implement in the ranch that could produce such a wound. And as I've already mentioned, we also looked closely at all the other sharp things on the range. None had recent blood on them. So it doesn't necessarily mean the saw was the murder weapon. Maybe the real culprit hid the real one. Oh yeah? Prove it then. Show me the real murder weapon. Well, I definitely don't know any way to do that. Still, something bothers me about that saw. So you have nothing? What a waste of time. I mean, we do have it. I just like to press on everything first. She sure is. We've known each other for years. I feel like you shouldn't mention that in court. Did she murder her father in cold blood? I'm curious. Perhaps you're just a bad judge of character, both of you. No way. Give me some time and I'm gonna prove it. Do you see anything wrong yet? Well, usually it's difficult to find anything wrong with the basic facts of the case. That said, I do think I saw one small thing. But It sure is. Still gotta poke all the holes I can find before the princess gets here. Oh, it gives you a little check mark for if you pressed it or not. That's nice. This one. Seems like a fairly large oversight. Just want to make sure of something. The state the saw is currently in is how you found it at the crime scene? That's correct. That's strange. Considering how much the victim bled out and how deep his wound was. Why is there no blood on the supposed murder weapon? Ha! Is that all you have? Huh? Naturally, the prosecution has an explanation for why the saw is clean. Behold, this cloth was found in the defendant's other hand. As you can plainly see, it is stained with blood. The defendant simply wiped the murder up in a futile attempt to hide her involvement. If Malin was trying to hide her involvement, why didn't she just leave the crime scene? Bah, obviously she was trying to hide the body before the royal visitation arrived at the ranch. Unfortunately for her, it just so happened the delegation arrived quite a bit earlier than scheduled. In a panic, she quickly wiped the saw off and pretended to faint to make it look like she just stumbled upon the scene. Yeah. Young lady, things are not looking very good for you right now. The court accepts the bloody cloth into evidence. So, what's the story with this cloth? Well, as I was doing a final check around the ranch, I noticed that part of the fence around the horse paddock was damaged. Not entirely sure when that happened, but sometimes one of the horses just gets a bit too rowdy, you know? Right. Anyway, I didn't want to bother Mr. Ingo about it, so I tried to cut up a new rail by myself to patch it up. Then the saw slipped and I cut my hand open. Goddesses, are you okay? Well, it wasn't that bad. It did bleed quite a lot, though, so I used that cloth to quickly bandage the wound. Actually going into the ranch house that's far, they helped me with the fence. Ah, a likely story. And impossible to verify now, of course. The Sheik, of course, had to use a fairy and the defendant to get her out of her supposed unconsciousness. Do have to give her some credit. She's one cunning woman. She knew that would explain the sudden lack of any wound on her hand. Oh, yes, why fairies are wonderful. Just the other day I slammed my hand with the gavel and one took the pain off immediately. Can't wait for Tingle to show up at the cutest classic. You never know, he might, Will. He might. I haven't played this mod, though I assume that it is safe for streaming purposes. Great. Glad to know they're used for such important things. But, dang it. Too bad there's no way to tell whose blood is on the cloth. We don't have magic for that. I do believe this matter has been settled. I'm ready to call my next witness. Uh-oh. Is that all I can get out of her? You served your purpose, Sheikah. Begone! Fine. But you had best treat her highness with respect. I'll see to it that you spend the night in the dungeons. Do not presume to threaten me, Sheikah. A night of darkness and solitude would be nothing but comfort for me. Okay, Mr. Edgelord. That's so. Then perhaps we should fill the dungeon with lit candles for the occasion. Playing daggers at each other. If this doesn't ensue, we're all in trouble. Order. Order. I'm sure we'll treat the princess with utmost respect. You may step down, detective. This case has already made me weary with all the pointless jabber. The time is ripe to deal the final blow. I call her Highness, Princess Zelda of Hyrule, to the stand. You want to sit up straight, Link? Come on, man. Is something the matter? You know, I'm not really used to looking at Zelda like straight on like this. is everyone quiet all of a sudden? Ah, Your Highness. I believe we're all just a bit uncertain on how to proceed. It's quite the honor to have such an esteemed guest in these halls. Bah! The face of the law, the princess is no different from a peasant. Name and occupation, now! The prosecution will behave. I don't have any derogatory statements directed at the princess. Derogatory? I simply wish not to waste any more time. Must employ proper procedure. It's alright, detective. I believe the prosecution does have a point. In the eyes of the law, we are all equals. On the stand, I am just another witness. I should not be getting any special treatment. Very admirable, Your Highness. It can all rest easy knowing that Hyrule is destined to have such a wise monarch in its future. Yes, indeed. I eagerly await the day when our next ruler takes the throne and reshapes the kingdom in their image. You flatter me, prosecutor. Now then, I believe I was asked for my name and occupation. I'm Zelda, current Princess of Hyrule and heir apparent to the throne. Marvelous, Your Highness. Before we begin, I would just like to know, why were you at Lon Ranch to witness this terrible incident? Yeah, it's simple, really. Lon Ranch is Hyrule Castle Town's biggest food supplier. Not only that, but the ranch also equips Hyrule Royal Guard with the finest of horses. Every year, the royal family makes a visit as a gesture of goodwill to ensure the quality of the steeds. I didn't know your horses were used by the royal guard. Yep. We work hard every year to make sure they're in the best possible condition. Father loved to boast about it to the other ranch owners. Knowing talent, I'm sure he did. How unfortunate that the ranch may no longer meet the crown's high standards under new management. The royal family has a backup, I trust. We're looking for one. Actually, those standards are quite high. Yes, of course. Now then, please describe what you saw on the day of the incident. Very well. I'm just gonna get some water real quick. Scene beyond the door. I arrived at Lon Ranch a little after 8 a.m., occupied by my royal guards. Okay, so that's interesting, right? Because we know autopsy report says no later than 8 a.m. So it could have been very, very close. I remember being surprised at how quiet everything was. There was nobody there to welcome us. I could sense that something was wrong. I opened the door to the ranch house and went inside. The room was mostly empty. There was a table with some kind of crystal bottle on top of it. But in front of the table, a terrifying scene was unveiling. The defendant hacked at the ranch's owner's chest with the saw she was holding. I was overcome with fear and I screamed. I'll never forget what I saw that day. I heard that Talon and his daughter were incredibly kind. I cannot believe she would commit such horrible violence. Well, I'm pretty sure you didn't see anyone hacking anyone up. Just saying. What? Oh my, you saw the very moment the victim was killed. There you go. Decisive testimony. There's no need to doubt the prince's statement. I call for the judge to make a ruling right away. Hey, now hold on. I didn't get to cross-examine the witness yet. You haven't, fool, because there's no need. You not hear one word of what she said. Didn't you just say we should follow all the procedures and treat the princess like any other witness? This is the defense right now. Oh, sorry, this is the defense's right. Complete. I believe the defense has a point. They do have every right to perform a cross-examination no matter who is testifying. I was quite looking forward to this part myself. I've only ever read about court proceedings in the Royal Library. That being said, I will not tolerate any reckless accusations toward the princess. Is that clear? Naturally, Your Honor. I'm going to cross-examine the princess. This isn't going to end well. What's gotten into the prosecutor? That seemed like a rather intense outburst. Well, I do have a guess. Oh? Because of the princess's status, it's possible that Dragmar did have an opportunity to discuss her testimony with her. That might mean that this testimony is a surprise even to him. This could be my chance. Before we begin, there's just one thing that caught my attention. I believe the princess mentioned seeing some kind of glass bottle at the crime scene. That would be this, I presume. Why, yes, that's it. That's exactly it. What is that? Oh, this is the bottle of perfume that Father intended to gift Her Highness when she arrived. He quickly rode out to town to get it at the last moment. We didn't know that the princess was coming instead of the king until only about 2 hours before the visitation. Oh, how thoughtful. He really did not need to bother himself so. As fascinating as this all is, the prosecution doesn't believe it's relevant to the case. It's good to have a full picture of the crime scene. The defense requests the bottle be accepted into evidence. Bah! Desperate to latch onto every little thing, are you? Whatever. You can add it to the evidence if it'll make you happy. No skin off my teeth. In that case, the court accepts this bottle into evidence. Now then, defense. Begin your cross-examination. I don't really know how the perfume bottle is going to factor into this, but we'll see, I guess. The scene behind the door. It's gonna save state. Okay, let us proceed with the pressing, shall we? If these guards were with Their Highness, why were they not called as witnesses? We did question the guards, naturally. Apparently, they didn't get to see anything relevant. How was anyone entered the crime scene? After seeing what was inside, I stood guard and insisted that no one be allowed inside until the Sheikah force arrived. I read that preserving the scene is vital. Quite correct. I'm sure the guards were absolutely thrilled with this order. Please proceed, witness. Branch's gift for the princess, bought just before the crime scene, found at the crime scene. Bought just before the crime, found at the crime scene. Okay. There was nobody there to welcome me. Like, this is suspicious, right? Because shouldn't Ingo have been maybe doing that? Have you conducted these royal visitations in the past, Your Highness? No, this was my first one. Up until last year, my father was always the one to visit Lon Lon Ranch. However, he decided I had to start preparing for all the royal duties that await me, and so I was to do it this time. You will doubtlessly perform admirably as ruler when the time comes. What happened when you got to the ranch house? Something was wrong. I opened the door of the ranch house and went inside. And? What then? Stop interrupting and let her get to the point. Defense. I believe I was clear about not badgering the witness. Calm down. Room was mostly only there was a table with some kind of crystal bottle on top of it. Mostly empty. Okay. You paid attention to something like that after seeing a murder, princess? Well, I spent a rather long time in there waiting for the Sheikah force to arrive. Plus, that bottle is quite beautiful. It just stood out. Yes, this bit is just fucking wrong. You were there at the exact time of the murder, Your Highness? That's correct. That's impossible, you're lying. The defendant will curb her outbursts. Oops. You're addressing wrong. I mean, I feel like this bit no later than 8 a.m. If they arrived at 8, then wouldn't that be a problem? That's both the crime scene, that's both what was inside. Where were the victim and the defendant at this time? The ranch owner was in front of a little table that's directly across from the entrance door. The defendant was right in front of him, quickly fainted after her attack. Why would she faint? A large pool of blood started forming where the victim was. Rather good view of the whole scene. Right. It is as unfortunate as it is fortunate you could see the whole thing in such detail. Now please continue. You sure there wasn't anyone else at the ranch, Your Highness? No, the place looked empty. Although I did later see a worker pull up a loaded wagon when the courier came asking about the milk shipments. It caused a little bit of a scene when the Sheikah force started inspecting it. That worker must have been somewhere else on the ranch, I suppose. The wrench is pretty large. Said worker was inside a building on the other side. Quite understandable she wouldn't have seen him until later. God, this really does give me a whole lot to work with. Accused out of the crime. No, we're not going to accuse the fucking princess of the crime. Overcome with fear, and I screamed. Are you sure you got a good look then, Your Highness? You didn't look away in panic? The princess was very brave to take control of the situation the way she did. There's no need to doubt what she saw. Yes, I suppose what she did was admirable. If only it arrived earlier. Your Highness, don't blame yourself for this. If you arrived earlier, you could have been the one that got attacked. You would have lashed out at anyone trying to stop you, huh? Despicable. That's not what she meant, and you know it. Princess, please go on. Trust your heart, Your Highness. You know Malin did do this. What nonsense. Her heart. What do her organs have to do with it? That's pretty good. Oh, of course. Evidence and testimony be damned just because we feel the defendant must be innocent. Hey, it works for Diddy. Oh well, if you're sure, then Oh, have you gone senile, old man? It was a joke. Much like the arguments the defense has been presenting. I can't believe the princess would lie like this. Yeah, it really is shocking. You don't believe her, right? Even if she's the princess, that means nothing. I didn't do it. Just authority of your best friend. Use something very concrete to do with the princess saying. I feel like the bloody cloth works for this. Because think about it. If she saw it happen and then the fainting happened, then, like, that just wouldn't work, right? Save. Yeah, this right here. That's true. Malin probably couldn't wipe off the blade while the princess was watching. But it's not entirely out of the question. Something much more Damien in this testimony. Shouldn't play all my cards this early. Oh, okay. Okay. At the owner's chest. Ooh, hold on, wait. No. No later than 8 a.m. So the clean blade we've already used. I don't think it would be in there, maybe. The no later than 8 a.m. part. A little after 8 a.m. Oh, okay, this is it actually. Because if she's saying... Yeah, they died before 8, dude. Sorry. Fucking wrong, princess. Your Honor, Your Highness, I believe I found something that doesn't quite match up with the facts. How dare you question the princess? That's... You will let the defense speak, prosecutor. I think I see why I so desperately wanted to prevent this cross-examination now. Your Highness, you stated that you arrived at the ranch shortly after 8 a.m., correct? Yes, the visit was scheduled for 8:30 exactly, but we were quite a bit early. I see. That makes something you mentioned quite impossible. As stated by the autopsy report, the victim definitely died before 8 a.m. You couldn't have seen the defendant attack the ranch owner when you arrived, because the victim was already dead by then. Order, order. Yes, you've really caught her in a lie. Your Highness, what is the meaning of this? While I wholeheartedly respect and serve the crown, I will nonetheless not tolerate lies in my court. I have not lied, I suppose I did not see the exact moment when it happened. Guess I only thought I did. Princess, this is a matter of life and death. I definitely saw the defendant there, along with the body. There's no one else who could have done it. There are all the other details correctly. The body's on the floor, the pool of blood. You have to believe me. Perhaps it would be best if Her Highness revises her testimony. That's not good. Still not enough doubt to overturn this testimony. To find something else or this case will be over. me get some water. Sorry for embellishing the truth a little bit. I did not see the actual moment of the attack, but it had to have happened shortly before I went into the ranch house. Miss Malin and her fathers were the only ones at the scene of the crime, and so she must be the culprit. I see. You only saw the aftermath of the scene, not the actual crime being committed. Very well. Hopefully there are no issues in your testimony this time. The defense, it's time for your cross-examination. Naturally, Your Honor. Dragmire still looks pretty angry, but he didn't expect such a blatant contradiction to pop up. If I could just find another one like that, the prince's testimony would become completely untrustworthy in the eyes of the judge. Yeah, but where do we end up then? Alright. I mean, we'll just press her on everything, as per usual. Why do you do that, Your Highness? There's a life on the line here. I really am sorry. I just got a bit too excited about being a witness in an actual murder trial. Really now. Most people hate testifying. Yes, well, the life of a princess is rather boring, you know. Quite the break from the routine for me. Should just get a hobby then. In that case, it can't be conclusively proven that the defendant did it. Defense, and you exhaust your singular brains along that last contradiction you found. There's a death mountain's worth of evidence pointing to the defendant. Just because no one saw the actual moment of the crime doesn't mean anyone else could have done it. I think you're making a death mountain out of a death molehill. How can you be so sure of that, Princess? Well, when I entered the ranch house, the victim saw the murder weapon embedded into his body. What? What? Then how did it end up in Malin's hands? What? It's obvious what that means, is it not? The killer didn't even have enough time to try to hide the weapon. Yes, I may not have seen the murder firsthand, but I must have been very close to doing so. Oh my. It's a very important detail. I think it would be advisable for Her Highness to amend her testimony. Certainly, Your Honor. Interesting. Dragmire certainly doesn't look very happy with this development, does he? Thinking about it, I might just know why. The murder... Yeah. Yeah, so like, that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't necessarily mean that my client was the one to do it, though. What if someone else snuck in before Malin and the princess arrived? Well, I suppose. Lon Ranch is surrounded by high walls. The only way in is through a self-locking gate. That's not true. There's a messed up fence. Not very many people have a key to this gate. Just the personnel on the ground. Oh, someone could have forced their way in. Bah. You wish to propose such a possibility, you must substantiate it with evidence. Do you have any proof that another person showed up at the ranch house before the princess? No. No shipments. Not really. Do I? No. I mean, the milk shipment's being ready. There must be another angle I can attack this from. Very well, witness. Since the defense is widely chosen to stay silent, please continue your testimony. Are you sure Malin was the only person there other than the victim? From what I recall, there's an upstairs room at the ranch house. What if someone was hiding there? Don't be stupid, defense. If someone was hiding up there, the Sheikah force would have found them. I stood guard at the door the entire time. No one could have left. What if they jumped out a window? Do not be ridiculous. Those windows are very high up. Actually, those windows can't even be opened. They have to break one to leave. Right. this is a little more plausible than the last testimony she gave. Yes, I suppose it matches the detective's account, doesn't it? No. Still, I feel like something here sticks out like a sore thumb. Yes. It's this bit. The question is, do we have anything? Blood loss. I think this would work, right? I believe I found another reason to doubt the witness's words. Seems the prosecution sees what I'm getting at here. There was a bloody cloth discovered at the scene of the crime. The prosecution has argued before that it was used to wipe the saw clean. If the princess saw the saw lodged into Talon's body, and the crime scene was left intact, then it couldn't have been wiped. Well, Prosecutor Dragmire, care to explain?
Yeah. This is most perplexing. Your Highness, are you sure that's what you saw? Well, maybe the princess decided to pull the sword in a valiant yet futile attempt to save the victim.
And then wipe the blade clean?
That would be almost like framing the defendant.
Of course I did no such thing. I made sure the crime scene stayed intact. I guess I must have made up the memory of the saw sticking out of Mr. Talon as well.
Idiotic girl. Do you even realize what you've done through your bumbling?
I am sorry. I was just so excited to stand as a witness in court just this once. Whenever I tried telling my father about anything, he always seemed so disinterested. Just this once I wanted to feel listened to. The defendant, it is clear that she did it. I just wanted to play a larger part in her capture. Sorry for the trouble I've caused you all. Don't lie in court, kids.
Your Highness, court is no place for silly games. As it stands, I'm afraid we'll have to strike your statements from the court record completely.
Yes, I did it. The prosecution lost the key witness. No, please wait. I have more to say. It's wrong about the crime scene. But I still have not testified to what I saw afterwards.
Bah! Why would we care about that? It's best that you leave and stop damaging my case with your idiocy.
Even if you're not interested in my words, you might be interested in the evidence I found.
What?
Huh?
Evidence?
Of course. While the Sheikah force investigated inside the ranch house, I looked around the rest of the ranch on my own.
Sheikah, do you know about this?
Of course I did. You did?
I'll have your head for this. Order. Order. What is the meaning of this, detective? Why have you withheld this from the court?
It's quite simple. The princess specifically requested to present her finding on her own.
Oh, what? You agree to this? This court is not some playground where children decide when evidence should be presented just because they have a crown.
It's being rude about it, but I can't help but agree with Dragmire on this one. Also, I don't really buy this story. There's no way Emma would have allowed this. Believe me, I wasn't thrilled with the request either. However, after seeing the evidence in question, I didn't think it would be all that important to the case. Let's let the princess have her fun.
So this is highly, highly irregular. I'm not sure how to feel about this, prosecutor. Bah, naturally, I object to this nonsense. If the detective thinks it's irrelevant, this is probably just a waste of time. All the evidence points to the defendant. Still clear she did it even without a witness at the scene. I see. Defense.
What do we do? We object to presenting the evidence, and Dragmire loses his key witness. Plus, whatever the princess presents could be bad for our case, too. So we should agree with the prosecution. On the other hand, we don't really have much to go on. This could be our only lead left.
Well, don't keep us waiting. Surely you won't throw away all the progress you've made thus far.
No, we're going to request it, obviously. The more evidence, the better. The defense requests that the evidence be presented.
What?
While I agree that the situation is irregular, we should still examine all evidence available. It'd be silly to dismiss it as irrelevant without even seeing what it is.
I do believe you have a point, defense. However, I must warn you. In order to admit this piece of evidence in the court record, the princess' statement that she found it somewhere from the scene has to be admitted as testimony.
Okay. Defense wishes to give the princess just one more chance.
Oh, the idiotic foolish. Order.
Very well then. Your Highness, please testify once more about the new piece of evidence you found during your own investigation. Thank you. I'll not let you down with this time, I promise. The princess should understand the gravity of the situation now. Let's hope this new evidence isn't damning for our case. My findings. I wish to express my most heartfelt apologies for my mistakes in the early testimony. Upon entering the ranch house, I saw the defendant pass out in front of the victim, who was bleeding out. I stood guard at the entrance of the ranch house until the Chica force arrived. Once the Chica started investigating the crime scene, I decided to take a look around the ranch. While I was walking near the silo, I noticed a strong odor in the air. I just stopped to see where it was coming from. I followed the scent and found a burnt-out fire nearby, a small, nearly empty bottle of lamp oil. Oh, is the murder weapon back there by chance? I, of course, took the bottle straight to the head detective. Okay. And here it is. The oil bottle I found. Is something wrong? I don't know, this might actually be completely irrelevant.
Yes, well, of course there's foolish girl. This has nothing to do with anything. You're great finding some random fire on a ranch. Bah, what next?
You gonna declare every rake on the premise suspicious? Maybe. We do have a ranch inventory list after all. Oil. There's no oil here, just saying. Well,
The prosecution will calm down.
This is bad. Your Honor, despite the fact that this evidence might not seem to add anything at the moment, the defense still asserts its right to cross-examination. Some straws have been grasped.
Why must you insist on this charade, defense?
The princess has merely recounted the same view of the crime scene as the head detective.
You haven't been able to find any contradictions in her statements.
I believe there might be a way to tie the princess's new evidence into the case.
Ridiculous!
Regardless of what the prosecution thinks, the defense does have a right to a cross-examination. The court admits the oil bottle into evidence. Just really hope this isn't a complete waste of time, defense, for both your own sake and your clients. Good music. Has a tiny bit of oil. I'm not missing it, right? Okay. I don't really feel like we need to press this one, but sure, why not? Yeah. There's no need to press the princess on her apology. You already wasted the chance to throw out a testimony. Okay. Yeah. Saw the defendant pass out in front of the victim who was bleeding out. This is true. Ooh, the music is good. Anything else in the room? Only the beautiful little crystal bottle I mentioned before. House is rather barren. Most of our things are on the top floor since the downstairs room is mostly used for ranch business these days. And the occasional game. Horse. Dad's famous Kuko game. The good old days. Is the defense done reminiscing? There'll be plenty of time to do that when the defense is behind bars. Just trying to distract myself from the fact that there's nothing to latch onto yet. How long did it take him? Did anything happen during that time? No, not that I recall. The guards did occasionally protest and ask me to let them take over, but I held my stance. Well, commendable in theory, staying in the same room as a dangerous killer is very wise. What if she woke up and lashed out at you? Sweet, highly up above. That thought did not occur to me.
Of course not. Foolish girl.
But the guards did stand close by. I would have been safe.
Wonderful to see how much faith our princess has in the royal guard.
Yes, of course I do. In any case. You didn't just go home. The royal visitation was supposed to last longer. Father was not expecting us back to the castle until much later. I came to the ranch to examine the horses, so I suppose I could at least do that in the meantime. How long did it take the Sheikah to arrive at the scene? It does not take very long to make the trip from Higher Castle to Longland Ranch. I can imagine it was more than 20 minutes. That is pretty fast. Imagine the fact that the princess was involved to speed it up.
Slowpokes. I'll be there in half that time, running backwards even. This is no surprise, though. Hiding horses are naturally inferior to our fine Gerudo steeds.
The Gerudo buy horses from our ranch to you. Just don't bother. He's trying to rile you up. Strong odor in there. Want to elaborate on that one? What was the smell like? Oh, that was awful. A terrible stench. Sorry. Need water. Water and salt. Okay.
Surely you don't mean to say that you found the smell of the horse maneuver suspicious.
Do not be ridiculous. The smell was not coming from the horses. Well, listen, I found a burnt out fire nearby. A fire, huh?
Now let me remind you, defense, that there's any number of reasons why a fire could have been there. Still feel the cold grasp of death early in the morning.
Princess, how long would you estimate the fire had been out before you found it? Right. There was still smoke rising out of the ashes, so it must have been put out recently. So around the time of the crime.
So someone prepared their breakfast there. Repeat, this fire is relevant.
He's realized the same thing I did.
Well, who was it? Who could have lit that fire anyway?
It would have to have been the ranch worker who was putting the milk shipments together at the time. Yeah, then how was he putting together the shipments?
Well, certainly him.
You want to ask about this little barbecue, you might just get your wish soon. Doesn't sound like it's very appetizing. Without anything concrete to pin on him, I'd just be able to brush it off. Right, and she allowed you to present it. Well, I was the one to find it. And since I was going to the trial anyway, utter ridiculousness.
Yes, please make this the last time you do something like this, Your Highness. Proper procedures exist for a reason.
Yes, I understand.
Defense, I believe that is enough. Doesn't seem like you're getting any closer to finding a connection between this fire and crime at all.
No, I suppose not, Your Honor.
Naturally. So this was a waste of time from the beginning. In that case, this cross-examination is over. Thank you for your time, Your Highness. I assume you have no more revelations to share with us.
No, I do not. I really thought the fire would be more important.
Leave my sight.
Enough. Your Highness, if you'd allow me to escort you back to Hyrule Castle. Very well. Okay.
Now that the princess's little game is over, we should move this along. The prosecution's stance is still the same, of course. We maintain that the evidence on its own is not to conflict the defendant. I do believe I am nearly ready to hand down my verdict.
But Your Honor, there's nothing that definitely shows that Malin committed the crime. This is all circumstantial. There's no way she could kill her own father.
That is an excellent point, defense. The prosecution has yet to elaborate on the defendant's motive. Patricide is not something a person commits lightly. I did briefly touch on the subject during my opening statement. But naturally, the prosecution is fully prepared to elaborate on the matter. I would like to call in my third witness.
That has to be that ranch worker.
Before calling him, though, the prosecution requests a brief recess to prepare.
Thought you said you were already prepared. Maybe he wants to double check this new witness won't pull anything weird like the princess did.
Very well. I do believe a break would benefit us all.
The court will reconvene after a 15-minute recess.
Court's adjourned.
$11:17. Okay. It's not going all that well, is it? No, I think that went about as well as it could have, actually, given the circumstances. We exposed the worst of the princess's testimony as untrue. I can't believe she just makes stuff up like that. Yeah, that was surprising. So the issue is that we didn't manage to shake the core of the argument. Whether there was anyone else in that house.
No, there's no need to look so glum.
Detective, aren't you supposed to be escorting the princess back? The carriage is being prepared. Thought I'd drop by in the meantime. You've really managed to make Dragmire furious here. I have? Listen carefully, you just might be able to hear him ranting over the prosecutor's lobby. He's really giving his opening witness a grilling. Expect him to try to shut you down as fast as he can. That would be worrying if I had anything you could shut down in the first place, I guess. Oh? But you do. What do you mean? Oh, come on now. I'm talking about the princess's grand discovery, of course. The fire? I wasn't able to do anything with that. You really think it's relevant? Don't get me wrong. At present, I am convinced the girl did it. We investigated and came to this conclusion for a reason. But I am willing to explore every possibility. The fire is definitely a bit strange, and I dare say maybe your only way out of this. Let me be so bold, I think you should press the next witness on that topic hard. As the only other person working on the ranch at that time, he's the only one who could lit the fire. He's hiding something the court deserves to know. I think that's the next testimony about the motive. It would be difficult to bring up the fire again without Dragmire objecting. You have to make it work. As much as I don't like it, she's right. There really isn't a whole lot else to go on here. Thank you. Don't mention it. One last thing. You, ranch girl. Me? Try not to hold that testimony against the princess. Believe me, I'm sure she was acting with the best of intentions in mind. The road to the dark one was paved with those, right? Perhaps. It was definitely a serious lapse of judgment, one she'll live to regret. Part of this comes from the fact that she's rather sheltered and inexperienced. After the sudden death of her older sister last year, she was thrust into the role of an heir very suddenly. Oh, that's why she looks different. Wait, they're all the princesses are just named Zelda? I was so freezed at the events of that day. Yet no one knows what exactly happened. In the void of information, conspiracy theories run amok. People blame the royal guard, the Sheik, and even the king himself. The princess will soon have a whole king's worth of troubles on her shoulders. For a kingdom with a history as turbulent as ours, it's a lot to handle. Princess conduct today probably won't help with the distrust of people over the crown right now, though. She's wise beyond her years. She'll learn and she'll be better. Simply as they don't think of her as an enemy, whatever comes of this trial. She does not need more than she already has. Wow, she's so intense. Never expect to see him get so emotional. Guess all this is why she decided to take the blame for the princess's impromptu investigation.
Detective Impa,
What is it, soldier? Quite busy at the moment, so please be quick. The investigation team back at the ranch has just sent word of a new development. Something about a milk shipment being returned to the ranch because of a wrong recipient address. They're asking you to come over to see it. Oh, those idiots. No time for this. Send someone else. I have to escort the princess to the castle. Roger. That did remind me, though. I put this bottle of milk when a couple guards were slacking on the job earlier. Here, ranch girl. Perhaps it'll help calm your nerves somewhat. Not to worry, it's still unopened. Oh? Thank you. It's nice of her. Too bad for those guards, though. Now then, I believe the princess's carriage should be prepared by now. You'll excuse me. Think of some nerves now. Milk has just lost its flavor. Huh? Lost its flavor? But Lon milk is always so tasty. Are you sure it's just nerves? Let me try some. Huh? You're right. I assume this would have come from one of yesterday's shipments? Probably. With an investigation of the ranch, there probably didn't be any today, so maybe it just isn't fresh? No, I don't think so. It doesn't really taste as if it's gone bad. Also, the guard said that one of yesterday's shipments was misaddressed, didn't he? This was all handled by Ingo, wasn't it? I think there's something odd going on. Better make some notes of this in the court record. Defense, the court's about to reconvene. Seems strangely tasteless. One of the milk shipments was returned at the ranch due to being misaddressed. I wonder what the address is for. Okay. So it comes down to this. The clues approaching. Time to turn the situation around. Court's back in session for the trial of Malin of Lalon Ranch. Trust that the prosecution's final witness is ready. Naturally, I have personally seen to it that there will be no foolishness this time around. Hopefully his ears are intact. As we discussed before the recess, having established the opportunity and means for the defendant to have committed the murder, only one matter remains. A matter of motive. For naturally, such a heinous crime couldn't be the result of mere happenstance. The prosecution believes something that went by too quickly. The defendant had a deep desire that pushed her to matricide. Our next witness can shed light on the matter. Fascinating. Very well, please proceed. The prosecution calls the ranch worker Ingo to the stand. Sorry, finishing off a bottle of water. Gotta stay hydrated when you're talking lots. It's funny to see Mr. Ingo in such fancy clothes. Oh? Yeah, he always just wears his work dungarees. Almost like looking at a completely different person. Well, I guess he wanted to dress up in court. I don't want to get this nice outfit dirty by working in it. Quiet, defense. Witness, state your name and occupation. Your Honor, great honorable prosecutor. My name is Ingo. I mine Lon Ranch. Mine? What does that entail exactly? I'm mostly there to work on the structures and equipment. The owner and his daughter are the ones who tend to the animals and take care of orders. How long have you been working at the ranch? Several years at this point. There have been others who came and went, but I, Ingo, persevered through all the hardships. Sounds like he wants a medal for it. Well, he does get a bit pompous at times, so this Ingo really is a great help. He built the ranch's silo single-handedly. Oh, that's some dedication. Very well. Given that you're clearly an important employee, you are privy to some inside information, is that correct? Yes, the ranch owner shared all the big plans with me. He trusts me implicitly. He used to say that we're like a big family. Yeah, so true. I suppose so.
Sounds lovely.
That sounds like a red flag that you're going to be getting loads of unpaid overtime.
Evidently, not every member of your so-called family felt the same way, though, did they?
It hurts to do this, but I have no choice. Hear my story, Honorable Court of Law. The matter of motive. Just a couple days ago, the owner Talon partly signed the ranch over to his daughter Malin. Talon became a life tenant, with Malin meant to inherit all of the assets after his death. As long as Talon lived, Malin could not sell the ranch. Simple, isn't it? The girl killed Talon to get full ownership and leave the dingy ranch life behind. It's appalling how ungrateful she is after all Talon did for her.
And there you have it. Testimony from a man who just lost everything. Really treasured to witness yet another family torn apart by greed. Evidence here, the defendant caught red-handed at the scene of the crime, and now we have a motive.
How do we know he's telling the truth?
I have, of course, verified the witness's testimony. As per the law, all inheritance documents must be part of the Castle Town's notary office to be considered valid. Saw fit to prepare this for the trial. The prosecution would like to submit the Lon Lon Ranch inheritance document into evidence.
Mr. Ingo, why would you?
Should pass judgment now, Judge. The defense has nothing.
No, we're going to cross-examine. But of course, ask whatever you'd like. The hard-working Ingo can handle it.
Very well, defense. Please begin.
Alright, let's take a look at that thing first. Malin would inherit the ranch if she's unable to divide the deed between the crown and the remaining employees. Let's see. Well, there's motive for him to do it then. Alright, let's get to pressing, shall we? How long ago was this exactly? 3-4 days.
Not sure the exact date.
Had it been planned for a long time?
Talon was getting on in years. Better take care of the matter sooner than later, eh?
Talon? He is telling the truth. Father scheduled a visit to the notary office a week ago. What do you mean by partly witness? So, Malin hadn't become the ranch owner yet.
Well, of course not.
I mean, you heard all the stories making rounds recently? So the ungrateful brats throwing their old folks into retirement homes the moment ownership signed to them? Talon was no fool. I myself convinced him that it was the safer option. If the girl wasn't some chicanery, it could always revert his decision. That's horrible. I never do that. Much as I like to believe that, you did much worse by killing them. Children these days. You feed them, you raise them, and then they pull a stunt like this as soon as you give them an intro of yourself.
I must concur. The younger generation is horrible.
Is there a screenshot button? There is. Take screenshot. I have no idea where that just saved. But, hold on. I hope it... Did it go into the screenshots folder? No. Man. Screenshots in the pictures folder? No. I have no idea where this thing is thinking it's saving those things, so I'm just going to take a picture with OBS instead. Okay, I'm happy now. Why did you look at me while saying that? Anyway, what that meant was... As long as Talon lived, Malin could not sell the ranch. But why would Malin want to sell the ranch right now? Why wouldn't she want to? Why would a pretty little girl like her want to work some dingy ranch? She'd have it much better if she sold the old place and used the money to move to Castletown. That's not true. I love working with the animals. I wouldn't leave them for anything. Blah. Something slacking on the job while I, the hardworking Ingo, have to cover her. Guess the dingo nut doesn't fall from the tree, as they say. That Talon loved to sleep on the job, too.
I do recall a quite funny story with the Lon Lon ranch owner blocking the side entrance to Hyrule Castle for an entire day once. The guards couldn't wake him up.
Took a particularly vocal cuckoo, apparently. Well, there you go. I'm the real reason why the ranch is such renown. Me, the hardworking Ingo. Like, that's not true at all. I know, but how do I stop this? Do you really think Malin will go that far? I want to think it, but clearly the events speak for themselves, don't they? Why wouldn't she just wait for him a few more years then? Talon was getting older. Perhaps she knew more work would be piled onto her. But really, how am I supposed to know? Ask her! That's alright. Well, if Malin didn't want to work, wouldn't she have done this earlier? As Talon's only child, she'd still inherit the ranch. That's where you're wrong. For a long while, Talon planned to split the ranch between the girl and the crown. He was a patriotic man. You know how much those horses meant to the royal guard? Wish he hadn't changed his mind now. It's true. Yes, father's previous inheritance document did work that way. How admirable! Yes, familial bonds won over his drive to help the kingdom. Truly a shame. Yes, naturally, the girl wanted the whole thing, so she bided her time. I think this sufficiently explains the timing. Let's continue, shall we? Wait just a moment. There's one more problem with the timing that I'd like the witness to explain. Why would Malin have planned the murder for the day of the royal visitation specifically? More people around means more witnesses. You think she would have chosen any other day? Oh, did I forget to mention this? We heard Talon arguing with her that very morning. He was telling her he changed his mind again. He was planning to tell the king that he'd be signing the ranch over the crown. After the visitation was over, he headed to the castle town and changed the inheritance back to the original split. What? Despite the victim's wishy-washiness, it appeared he didn't make the right choice in the end. There's that choice that the defendant wanted to get the ranch. She had no time to waste that day. Is this true too? Absolutely not. Father wasn't planning to do that, and there was no argument either. What to do with this argument then? Add it to the testimony. Better not bring attention to it. I don't know. If we bring the argument up, can we, like, do anything about it? I mean, we know that the princess testified before about it being really quiet, but I don't think we really have anything. Would this be where we use the pictograph, maybe? Let's leave it alone for now and then keep pressing. Alright, the defense would like to move on and discuss something else. Oh, the way she was arguing with him really made me mad. No, you hold it. That man gave everything for her. Trying so many expensive presents over the years. Just look at that golden necklace she's wearing. Man spoiled her rotten. In fact, I think I saw another present he was meaning to give her on the very day he was killed. What a gift. Why, yes, a little bottle of perfume, I believe. It's horrible. That was such a kind man. What happened to him is despicable. I thought the last statement important. Yeah. Your Honor, the defense wishes to add a statement about the perfume to the testimony. What are you doing? Trying to implicate the defendant even harder? I think it's an important detail. The perfume is irrelevant. But I suppose the prosecution has no objection to strengthening our case. Very well, witness. Please have what you just said in your testimony. Yeah, we know that this is meant for Zelda, so we can press on that. Or, well, you know, object against it. Where do you see it? Just lying around the ranch house. Tom probably didn't go the day he was killed. Do you mean this, witness? Why, yes, that's exactly it. Looks very expensive. Only Talon spent as much on his side for me, the hardworking Ingo. Get up and leave to do work at the break of dawn every day, you know. What's your relationship with this guy anyway? Well, he's been employed and living with us on the ranch for as long as I can remember, really. You know, I don't think he's ever skipped a day of work thinking about it. Not a single one. Talk about dedication. So something is very much off here. So let's try this. Witness. What is it? Just to confirm, you say that this bottle of perfume was bought from Malin by her father, correct? Huh, what else would it be for? I assure you, Talon wasn't the type to indulge in perfumes. Well, you're wrong, witness.
Oh, is that so? Was the rancher a truly perfume connoisseur?
No, Your Honor. This bottle of perfume was bought for the princess.
So what, defense? Sure, it's technically a contradiction. But what is the purpose of this bottle change? Yes, defense, I admit I'm confused as well. Please explain why this point is important.
Earlier in the trial, Malin mentioned that Talon bought this perfume in preparation last minute. Isn't that right, Malin? Sure is. We had a gift for the king prepared when the news arrived that it would actually be the princess making this sensation. Father quickly rode out into town to get a new gift. This info puts one thing into question. Talon's taste in gifts, somebody's movements, the princess's testimony. Yeah, it puts Ingo's, like, why did he know this? Someone's movements on the ranch are put into serious doubt.
Someone's? Well, don't keep us waiting then, defense. Who is this person?
Naturally, the person whose movements become suspect is... Smarmy Man. The witness himself. If you recall, this bottle of perfume, which had just been purchased, was found at the crime scene. A crime scene the witness supposedly never went to.
He should have known about the bottle.
Oh.
Order. The defense raises a very valid point. Simpleton, what is the meaning of this?
Well, witness, did you go to the scene of the crime at any point?
No, of course I didn't. I was working the silo all day.
I remember I saw the gift the day before the crime. The girl was lying. Helen must have gotten the gift the day before. You're the one who's lying. Father didn't leave the ranch at all that day.
One's words against another. Defense? Do you have any way to prove that your version of events is true?
Ask at the store, find the receipt, smell the perfume. We could ask the store, right? Unless we have a receipt. Maybe the ranch inventory? A date, March 15th. I don't know what date it is today. But we could use the inventory, maybe. Find the receipt, I suppose. When you buy something, you usually get a receipt. And the receipt always shows the date of purchase. It might still be at the ranch house. I say we send someone out to look for it. Father never throws receipts away. We have a drawer full of them. The perfume one should be right at the top.
This idea has some merit. Soldiers, rush out to the ranch house immediately and search for that receipt.
Was it what was burned, maybe? Your Honor?
Yes. What is it, soldier?
We just received the receipt from the team stationed at the crime scene.
Very well. Thank you. Shall now read it out.
There's a lot of writing on this.
From Tingle's Mysterious Smells.
Oh no. No! Well, Doodle Will, you got Tingle. But I don't think it's how you wanted it.
Ah, yes, I think I've seen that store. It's that eccentric looking place in the back alley. You could have missed the blinding neon colors if you tried. It's another alley store. The gall of this nobody running a monopoly in Hylian perfume is preposterous. Perhaps. But back to the matter at hand. Nerve of that dunderhead. Would anyone ever shop at a store where the owner calls every other customer a fairy? Prosecutor. And the balloons. Oh, the balloons, that fool Paul popped one right in my face. Prosecutor Dragmire. Enough. Continuing on, purchase item. 1 bottle of rosy rupiland. Oh my, this is quite the price. Why, I would have to...
Your Honor, please, the date of purchase.
Oh, yes, right. Date of purchase. Why, it's March 16th, the day of the murder.
Yeah.
Order. Order.
Yes, we got him. I think we're finally getting somewhere.
Ugh, this doesn't mean anything. Perhaps the witness briefly went back to the ranch house for something and saw the bottle then.
Yes, that's it. I was getting thirsty, so I went back to get a drink. Must have seen the bottle then. Oh, come on. You weren't gonna believe that?
Do you have any proof that he didn't?
Well,
I believe this calls for further testimony. As the witness now claims to have visited the crime scene shortly before the murder, we should learn of his exact movements that day.
my movements. Alright, there's not a whole lot to say, though. Unfortunately, he managed to weasel out of that. But this next testimony will be full of lies. Probably very true. My non-suspicious movements. As was already stated, I had volunteered to work in the silo. At one point, I briefly went back to the ranch house to get myself a glass of water. Went back to the silo right after that and stayed there until the courier came. I haven't been back to the ranch house at all since then. At some point, the detective came and told me what happened, and wow, was that detective one fine woman. Gee, thanks. Let's press him on that. See, I haven't done anything to warrant suspicion. Eat my shoes, you brat. I'll pass. There has to be something wrong there. You can't put a flawless story together that quickly. Alright. Already volunteered to work in the silo. You mean the silo that was on fire? What were you doing? Working on shipments and fulfilling orders. We sent out crates of milk to milk bars all across the kingdom every day, you know. Milk bars? Naturally. Everyone loves a good drink, you know. And our milk is renowned as the best there is. Here's when there's water, there's down. Despicable. I see. I think you said earlier that your job is to work on the structures and equipment, though? Indeed. That and the girl would usually be the ones overseeing milk orders. However, since the royal visitation was happening that day, I felt they needed their minds unoccupied, so I took it upon myself to do it this time. After the murder, I got scared that the Sheikah Forest investigation would delay the shipment, and that I, the Great Inga, would get the blame. Thankfully, it all went through fine. Yeah, you were so concerned while sending it off quickly that you wrote the wrong delivery address on it. Bah, you Hylians. Ridiculous. Tipsy from something like milk? Bet you couldn't handle even a sip of the brew's no pursuit. A real man's drink. A real man's drink. Aren't most of the Gerudo women? This is true. Speaking of drinks, I believe the witness was talking about how he had got himself a glass of water. Yes, of course. You know, all that heavy stuff around works with sweat, you see. I got very thirsty and... You didn't think to just take a sip of the milk you were handling? Yeah, no. It wouldn't be right. That milk was for the customers, you see. Just didn't want to get into any trouble. A truly honest man. How dare you suggest he would steal from his own workplace? Right. So what did you see at the house? Nothing much. I got my drink and left. Still had a lot of work to do, you see. Suppose no one else is in the perfume bottle then. In fact, yes, I remember it clearly now. It was there, on the table, plain as day. Muhaha. Right. What happened after that, witness? And you were able to complete this so quickly on your own? Bah, you don't know the might of the Great Inga. Get things done in no time. I did almost break my back getting those crates out of the silo, though. There were so many, and all so heavy. It was like a puzzle in there. That's funny. Anyway, that's not important. The point is, I haven't been back to the ranchos ever since then. Are you sure? What about that fire that got put out real quickly? Sure as can be. You never went back in, even after the crime was discovered? Bah, they wouldn't let me in. Preserving the crime scene or some such. Couldn't even get any of my things. After I was questioned, no one gave me half a glance. To sleep in the stables that night. It was terrible. That's what you just said important. Is it? Sleep in the stables. They wouldn't let him in. I mean, that implies that he went there. I mean, it sounds like he tried to go back there. Does him trying to go back there, though, give us any evidence on this thing? Actually, I mean, the tiny bit of oil. He never went back in there, which means he should have. Yeah, let's add it to the testimony. Your Honor, I would like the witness to add his last statement to this testimony. What are you trying to pull here? Very well. Witness, please amend your statement. Yeah, fine, whatever. Didn't get to sleep or access to my belongings. I had to spend the night in the stable. Oh, well, I didn't want that. I wanted other stuff. Couldn't you have stayed in the inn? What am I, made of money? Think, boy. Just a simple ranch worker, you know? Lawyers always flaunting your wealth. Right, sorry. Not actually sorry. That one night we bankrupt this guy. Just look at what he's wearing. Let's press on Impa's appearance. Could you elaborate? She's a hard-working woman who gets to the point and takes what she wants. Not to mention her impeccable fashion sense. What's not to love? That's not the part I wanted to elaborate on. Wow, he seems totally smitten with her. Sure does. I wonder how Impa feels about it. Perhaps when this chore of a trial is over, I could... But no, you'll have to wait. You thought you could distract me, did you? The genius ranch worker Ingo sees through your schemes. He's sticking to that story, huh? Yeah. Desperate and fixed, but it holds up surprisingly well. God, I believe this is the same Mr. Ingo I know. He's usually so something with her. Press more details, he's sure to slip up somewhere. That's a piece of evidence or a profile waiting to disprove what he's saying. Or a profile, huh? They're calling that out specifically. Volunteers work in the silo. Ranch house to get himself some water. Stayed there until the courier came. I mean, to me, right here is where maybe the oil comes in. Because if he stayed there, then, you know. Let's try this. Ha! I've got you now. We probably didn't get him. What? Knew a simple ranch worker couldn't concoct a flawless story. Just found a gaping hole in it. Like, are you implying ranch workers are stupid? That's not what I meant. On the other hand, certain attorneys tell me ours and just presented is entirely meaningless. I'm sure just hang up on me. Was I supposed to present it here, maybe? Yeah, okay. I Okay, that is the right thing. I just messed up the placement. Hold on. You stayed at the silo the whole time? I don't think so. We know someone made a fire around the time of the crime, and the only one it could have been is you. A fire? Yes, the fire. Suppose I did forget to mention that, didn't I? Yes, I did light a fire at one point, I admit. Everyone was busy preparing for the visitation in the morning, and I didn't have time to eat. So I decided to make myself something while I worked. In fact, that reminds me. This is also part of why I went to get myself that glass of water. The breakfast I was carrying burned a little, and I needed something to wash it down with.
See, defense. What did I tell you?
The fire is completely irrelevant. Well, he dismissed the contradiction, but managed to strengthen his story, too.
Glad we have finally laid that mystery to rest. Defense, is that all you wish to ask during this cross-examination?
That's all the mystery, no way. No, Your Honor. I'd like to keep cross-examining for a bit longer.
Very well. The witness shall update his statement. In the future, please try not to omit any details, no matter how small.
But yes, of course, Your Honor. Won't happen again. He's seeking that story, huh? Yeah. Desperate fix, but it holds it surprisingly well. I believe this is the same missing guy I know. He's usually so nice. So he's now talking about his breakfast. Wait, what? Volunteer to work in the silo. Is that just where they do the milk stuff? Like... like one of these, maybe, potentially. Not really sure what to press or profiles to do. I mean, we could present the crappy milk. No sleep paralysis. Well, I mean, he should have... Hold on. Is it this? Because, like, the person who went to the silo first was Zelda. No. Okay. Hold on. Alright. I thought maybe that might be a thing where he was getting them mixed up or something like that, you know? He had to spend the night in the stable. Is there anything about that? He hasn't been back to the ranch at all since then. I mean, could it... Do we have anything that proves that he would have come back? A little while after the crime. One of the milk shipments was turned. Yeah, I don't really see anything else with it. Let's press, I guess, then. Maybe we should present the bad one here. Try this, I suppose. No, it's nothing. Ugh. Well, just like classic Aches attorney. When you don't know, you don't know. Back and stay there. Guessing at this point. Well, wait. Oh, shoot. I just hit escape accident. Wait, what does escape do? Did that just like unload it? Okay, there we go. What about no one fixing the fence? That's one of them. You sure? Sure as can be. You never went back in even after the crime was discovered. They wouldn't let me in. Is there a crime scene? Couldn't get these things. So all of Ingo's things were in that house. Okay. All of Ingo's things were in the house. I don't really... Oh wait. Are we gonna ask like how he managed to get the clothes then or something? Is that what we're doing? That's what we're doing. Okay. Okay. There's something seriously wrong with your testimony. What are you talking about? You say you couldn't get any of your belongings because they were all at the ranch house, correct? A ranch house you're not allowed to go in? That's right. Well, that would imply you should still be wearing your work clothes. Pardon me if I'm wrong, but those don't look like work clothes at all.
defense has a point. The witness appears pretty well dressed for court. Don't you want to sully those clothes during work?
What do you have to say to that? Oh, of course. I can explain. It's simple. These are brand new. Yeah, on my way to the courthouse, I went shopping for a nice new outfit. Or I couldn't show up to court dressed like a bum.
Yes, defense. Certain people have a modicum of respect for the court and show up dressed appropriately.
I suppose this is my finest Zora suit. So you claim you bought these clothes out of a crime, is that correct?
Very much so.
This morning, in fact. Why do I need to repeat myself?
Do I accept the explanation?
No. You buying those clothes today is simply impossible.
What? Oh, how can you claim so? Defense, as you know, evidence is everything in court. Either prove that the witness couldn't have bought these clothes today or get out.
Can I see this real quick? Mm-hmm. That's what I thought. I'd like to turn the court's attention to this.
Why, this is one lovely pictograph. Oh, reminds me of the idyllic days I spent with my grandson at the Fisher's Pond. What about this pictograph, defense?
Well, just look at what Ingo's wearing.
This photo is from Malon's childhood, but Ingo is very clearly wearing the same outfit he has on right now. He couldn't have bought it today. Ugh. Order, I love order. Why, the defense is absolutely correct. Hope the witness has a good explanation for this.
There, I think we finally got him. There's no way he can weasel out of it this time.
Are you going to say you gave him the clothes? Bah, isn't it obvious? Naturally, the witness knew he would need to wear his nice clothes for the royal visitation that was scheduled for that day. He brought them to the cell in advance so they could quickly change just before the royal visitation's arrival.
Oh. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Yes, of course, I need to be presentable after all.
Can't look like a bum in front of the most important people in the kingdom.
Wait a minute, this is insane. What kind of kangaroo court is this? The prosecution keeps making excuses up on the spot. Ingo was clearly lying about buying the clothes before the trial. He's definitely trying to hide something. Your Honor, surely you won't accept this blatant perjury.
Accept it, Judge. Let me know their explanation. The prosecution's explanation does seem plausible.
What?
However, the fact that the witness didn't simply say it himself, instead made up a lie about buying the clothes is indeed very suspicious. Defense. The prosecution has posed that there is no other possible explanation for this contradiction. What is your opinion of the matter?
Can the defense think of an alternate version of events? Big, I really need to think this through. Ingo's acting really suspicious right now. Desperately trying to patch up holes in the testimony to conceal his real movements.
The goddess is going, why would he be doing that?
Ingo has wardrobe with the cello. Ingo is the victim. Ingo is the murderer. It's not Malon. Ingo's the only person who could have done this. I have to assume he did if I want to think Malon did it. With that in mind, why would Ingo change out of his work clothes?
Got blood on them.
Like when Ingo killed Talon, his clothes must have gotten bloody on them. They had to change something else to hide his involvement. But then, wouldn't the Chica force have found the clothes in the house? How could they have disappeared?
This is good, using the goddesses like this.
The Triforce of Law.
It's good.
That's it. This explains everything. I believe I can offer an alternate explanation.
Nonsense. Judge, the defense spent far too long sitting in silence just now. They clearly have nothing. I call for a quick ruling.
And not only can I explain it, but in fact, the defense formally accuses the witness of the murder. It's simple. The reason he had to swap his outfit, and why he's been lying about the circumstances ever since, because he got stained with the victim's blood. Preposterous. If there were any discarded bloody clothes nearby, the Sheikah force would have found them. We'd be trying someone else for murder right now. Why, you're absolutely correct, prosecutor. Naturally, Ingo couldn't have left his bloody clothes lying around. And so, he used this to dispose of them. Your Honor, cast your mind on the princess's last testimony. Princess's... Oh, that mysterious fire! Surely you jest. You yourself made sure we all knew how meaningless her testimony was. And yet with this new context in mind, it gains a completely new meaning. An empty bottle of lamp oil found by a burned out fire. Ingo used his lamp oil to quickly burn away his stained work clothes. Well, how about it, witness? My scenario explains everything. You killed Talon and then tried to hide it. This is... No, hold on. What drivel are you spouting here? Me? Kill Talon? You already know that's impossible. Too busy for murder. Ah, boy. This is where the water down happens. Also, why did that just skip like that? Oh no. Everything you said is wrong. I have no idea what you're on about. Have an alibi for the time of the crime. Just couldn't have done it. There's no way I could have completed those milk shipments, killed Talon, and tried to hide my involvement. The fire was just made for a quick breakfast. There's no mystery there. Stop trying to pin this on poor innocent Ingo. Okay, so I mean, obviously we present the milk, right? Shouldn't remind you, defense, but you yourself was surprised that Ingo was able to complete the shipment in time. Adding even more things for him to do in that time is preposterous. That's right. The great Ingo is efficient at his job, but not that efficient. No, had to have been him. Sure of it. There must be some trick at play here. Some kind of shortcut. I have to find it. Okay. We can press. I assume that he might, like, mention filling up the milk, everything, all that stuff. Surely my scenario is more plausible at this point than his panic attempts to fit your story. What's more plausible isn't for you to decide, defense. The judge that makes the final call. As long as that alibi stands, I can't imagine him siding with you. Yeah, so all the loose ends have to be tied up before the decision can be made. Please continue. Could you explain what that alibi is again? With pleasure. At the time of the crime, I was busy burning that day's shipment of milk. That's hard work. Barely had enough time to get them done before the courier came to take them. Shipments were inspected by the Sheikah force as they were leaving the ranch. As our resident detectives told us, they are bound to be fully loaded up with bottles of milk. That's right. Sheikah force itself has vouched for me. No way I could be the culprit. Oh, I disagree. Has to be a way. Must be. Would it really have taken that long to murder someone and burn some clothes? It would have taken long enough to definitely make the scheme infeasible. Making the shipments is a rather involved process. We had to milk the cows, clean the bottles, pour the milk into them, put them into crates, and load those onto a wagon. I love working with the cows. That part takes the longest, you only get a lot of time. So Mr. Ingo said the whole thing really does take a while. Well, I usually have to work together to get it done and have it according to Okay, so there's no way you could complete the shipment and also do the killing. In that case, there'd be some way for him to finish the work faster. So I had to find it. Had enough time for breakfast, but not enough time to kill someone? Yes, of course. The breakfast was cooking while I kept working. I just quickly gobbled it up. No issue there. In fact, yes, I remembered even burned a bit because I wasn't completely paying attention to it. That's why I had to go get that glass of water too, you see. I had to wash it down after. Convenient little explanation. But for all I know, he actually did cook up breakfast on a fire, burning blood-soaked clothes. Ew. Of course, of course. Well, it's just what I've been telling you this whole time. Okay, we don't need to press on the incident of it. The only question is, do we do it on 2 or 3? Probably on 3, right? Both of these are probably pieces of the puzzle. I want to start with this one, because I assume that, like, we'll use the other one afterwards. Witness? Yeah, what is it now? Over an intriguing detail during the last recess. Seems the address on one of yesterday's milk shipments wasn't written correctly. Must have been Russian. That's how you did it. Haven't heard anything about the issue with this shipment address. But I'll play along. Suppose you're right about it. Writing an address only takes a few seconds. Even if it was reduced to a single swift stroke with a pen, it wouldn't have saved much time at all. Certainly not enough to both commit murder and cover it up. It wasn't just the address. Ingo must have rushed the entire shipment. By what method? You say you somehow completed the entire shipment more quickly? Then prove it with evidence. Fortunately for you, depends on my security with a good prosecutor. This alone doesn't prove how enough time may be saved. Do you have anything else? Yeah. Yeah, I do. Okay. Okay, I thought it was going to be like a 1-2 punch sort of situation. But did you, though? Did you really complete those shipments properly? Defense, I shouldn't have to remind you that the Sheik, of course, checked the boxes thoroughly. They were definitely full of milk bottles. Oh, I'm sure it won't look that way. What are you getting at, defense? Here you go, Your Honor. Milk for me? You're trying to bribe the judge now? Didn't think you'd stoop so low. The Crown will be informed of this. It's nothing like that. All I'm asking is His Honor try tasting the milk. Just one little sip. This is highly irregular. But to be honest, I could use a drink. All this talking does make one's throat parched, you know. You probably talk the least out of us, anyone here, though. Since the defense insists, I'll go ahead and take a sip. This is what passes for milk these days. This will taste like water. Water? I have to agree. This is definitely not standard milk. As we've heard from the princess and the detective, Lon Lon Ranch is renowned for the quality of its products. There's no way people would say that about the milk this lousy. Bah, whatever. As if the unwashed masses would know different quality and garbage. Where are you going with this, defense? It's simple, you see. I received this bottle from Detective Impa, still unopened during the first recess. As we know, there are no milk shipments today, so this must have come from one of Ingo's shipments from yesterday. It's true that Ingo couldn't have murdered Talon and also completed the shipments on his own. Unless he cheated. Ingo watered down the milk to get the shipments done in time. Order! Order! Yes, I suppose that would work. Indeed. All he had to do was milk fewer of the cows. To save enough time without ruining the taste too much. I guess he used about a 50-50 split of water and milk. This is... Oh! Thank you, Talon. Let me stop you right there. I can see that something odd happened to that shipment. But all you have proven is that Ingo is a slacker. How dare you! Be quiet, you mongrel. Sure, Ingo watered down the milk. That doesn't make him a killer, though, does it? Well, no. But now we do know that he definitely could have done it. We know he did go to the crime scene. And we know he did have the time and opportunity to kill Talon as well. But there's a vital element missing still. Let me put it in simple terms. I mean, an idiot like you can understand. Motive? You mean the will that you put into evidence? Rebuttal. Oh, the murder weapon. You lack the murder weapon. If Ingo was the murderer, then it couldn't have been the saw. What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to like mess with this somehow? Do I press him on this? And why is that? Simple. If the girl's story about working on the fence is true, then she was using a saw while her father was being murdered. Could have been in two places at the same time. Do I agree with this? You know, he's got a point there. Sharper regular object. Did he kill him with the perfume? Sharp, irregular object. I mean, there's hoes, and rakes, and knives, wood saws. Wait, hold on. How many wood saws do they have? One. Ah, damn. Anything else? There's regular axes. Flails. I mean, is anything here? I believe I'm in complete agreement at this point. You do realize the problems that creates for you, right? Sure, it can all be explained. That's if. Very well. Let's move on to the why nothing else could have been broken either. Where would this supposed other murder video come from? Can you use any old thing? Answer the question of defense or the discussion is over. No need to overthink it. Anywhere Ingo could have gotten the weapon will do. Don't worry about the exact details later. Have you forgotten this murder happened on a ranch? There are plenty of sharp things on the site. Oh, that's simply impossible. Checked all sharp objects on the ranch, searched everyone. No fresh blood was found anywhere else. Couldn't Ingo just have hidden it, disposed of it, wiped it off? Yeah, he could have used his clothes. Couldn't even just wiped it off. Blood leaves traces, not that easy to get rid of. I feel like that's not so sensitive, but other things in this earth can usually tell by smell. Naturally, the Sheikah force employed to go for just this task. Also, its long ranch was on selling most of the milk, the animals there aren't rarely butchered. This is going to be one which was a fresh blood. Any such implement would sort like a sore thumb. I guess that's a good point. I meant to rethink this. Couldn't Ingo just have disposed of it? Impossible, because why? But the fire. No items on the ranch's inventory list were missing. That list is indisputable. I mean, no, it's not, because Ingo's the one who... No, Ingo's the one who maintains it, which means that he could mess with it if he wanted to. I can be certain that inventory is accurate. Use your head. There was a royal visitation schedule for the day. The ranch owner needed everything to be in order. He would have double, even triple checked that list when he wrote it. Yeah, but he didn't write it. He is not the one who wrote it. The inventory list itself is false. Fascinating. What exactly makes you question the veracity of this document? That'd be something about the inventory itself. It's simple. You only need a brief look at the inventory to see it can't be trusted. Point out what exactly about the inventory makes it suspect. The fucking name, you dip. Just look here. The little one who compiled this is Ingo himself. He could have easily falsified the court as part of his plans. That doesn't matter. Nothing could have left the ranch. I mean, the milk shipments did. Wouldn't Ingo been able to just throw the item out over the fence? Obviously, we searched the perimeter of the ranch as well. Nothing was found anywhere. That's the most important point. Has nothing really been able to leave? The milk shipments did. I would think that it's gotta be this. Evidence reveals okay. Can't say anything wrong about it. Alright, was it the other one? Okay, sorry. Used the wrong crates. Really sure nothing left the ranch? What about a few little shipments of milk? Processors, have you forgotten that said shipments have been checked by the Sheikah force before they were allowed to leave? True, but there was a place the Sheikah could have overlooked. What's the name are you babbling about? Talking about bog standard crates here, boy. Looks like vast dungeons of nooks and crannies to stuff things into, are they? Where could they have missed a murder weapon? It's simple. They overlooked the contents of the crates, the contents of the bottles, the crates themselves. Did he poison him with milk? Is that what we're trying to say? I actually don't know what. I mean, they clearly overlooked this, right? One place inside the crates that she couldn't have checked thoroughly without ruining the shipments. Without ruining the shipments. That's right. Ingo put the murder weapon inside one of the bottles to conceal it from the search. That does seem plausible. Now wait just a minute. Nothing could have left the ranch. Weapon in the milk bottle wouldn't just go unnoticed, and someone would have reported it. Ah. Not this one, though. You would be correct that a weapon shown up as one of his milkshake would cause quite a stir. If the milk ever actually made it into any milk bar, that is. You see, I overheard a very interesting tale during the recess. Word was sent from the ranch not long ago that one of the shipments was returned unopened due to being misrepresented. Indeed, if you recall, Ingo was the one who handled all that. Now that's strange. The ranch supplies the same milk bars every day. Even if he had messed up the street address a little, the courier would have known where the shipment was meant to go. How could he have bungled it that badly? It's almost as if he didn't want anyone receiving a bottle of milk with a murder weapon in it. But Ingo expected this box to stay in shipping limbo a while longer. How unfortunate for him that the postal service was on its game today. Rare event. Maybe because they were worried to start to smell. This calls for us to investigate these boxes of milk more closely. Soldiers, have these boxes retrieved from the ranch immediately. Argument complete. That's cool. I don't think I've played an Ace Attorney game where they do an argument thing like that. This is slander. Why would I kill Talon? Sure, he's a bit of a layabout, but it did give me a job. Why would I want him dead? The motive. That's simple. I'm surprised you're even asking about it. This evidence easily explains your motive. The very inheritance document brought to the court's attention states the following. In case of the testator's death, his daughter, Malin Ranch, will inherit the ranch, unless she is unable to oversee it, in which case it shall be divided between the crown and the remaining employees. You not only killed Talon, but decided to frame Malin for the crime as well, so you would be the one to inherit part of the ranch. That's why you volunteered to work in the silo all day. give you an alibi so that Malin would be the only possible culprit. Of course you knew about the royal visitation in advance. You knew Malin would go back to the ranch house prepared before they arrived. Perfect setup for the royals to find her next to the body. No. What are you talking about? Malin signing the ranch over to me? Preposterous. Did he really not know? Guess it was Dragmire who procured the actual document, not him. Your Honor. What is it, soldier? The box you requested is here. Already? That was quite fast. Apparently the team at the ranch had already noticed something awry with it on their own. The box arrived just as we were about to rush out a courier to deliver our message. Well. Let's see for ourselves then, shall we? The part of the shipment that proves my case is... Oh gosh. Well, obviously the one with a bit of red in it. Here it is, from the bottle with a slight red tint to the milk. Looks like some kind of serrated knife. That explains the irregular wounds pretty nicely. How could those Sheikah idiots have missed this? Sure, the milk was pure white when they first checked it. Took a whole day for the blood to dissolve in it. Either way, no matter how you slice it, this proves my theory right. Oh, I've had it. Fine. You want to know why? You want to know why I really killed that scumbag?
No! What are you?
So you admit it? Yes, I admit it. What would you do if one day, after years of backbreaking labor, despite putting your all into the ranch, you were thrown away like rubbish? Without any reason. Fired. Farewell. We don't need you anymore. What? But that doesn't make any sense. Don't lie, I heard it all. I was just returning back from another day of spine-wrenching work, and lo and behold, what's this? Malin and Talon talking behind my back. Heard it all. We'll let him go after the visitation. You can handle things without him. And so, after volunteering to work on that shipment, I quietly slipped out while the girl was busy and shanked the good-for-nothing slacker. You should have seen his face. He didn't expect it at all. They were gonna give him a vacation. So yes, Malin, I killed that lazy bum you called a father. And he deserved it.
The witness will cease his boasting of such a terrible deed. Think we've heard enough. Soldiers, take him away.
Wait just a minute. Ingo. Yes, girl. Want to apologize for what you've done? Apologize? Me? You're horrible. We weren't planning to fire you at all. You completely misunderstood what we were saying. What? We've had so much work recently. Well, you know how it goes with the royal visits. Always a busy time. Gotta make sure everything's in tip-top shape. I do worry some about old Ingo though. He's been complaining about his back recently. Do wish he'd take a step back and relax sometime. Maybe we should convince him to take a vacation? Now there's an idea. It'd do him good to just get out for a while. I'll discuss it with him after the visitation. After things calm down, we can handle everything without him. You were planning what? A vacation for me? And I did. No, it can't be so. Please say it isn't so. The cuckoo. Look at the cuckoos, they're pretty good. What a touch.
witnessed today the results of a truly horrifying misunderstanding. But misunderstanding or not, what you have done is unforgivable. Talon was a kind man, loved by all who had good fortune to cross his path. His loss will be felt not only at his ranch, but all across Hyrule. The killer turned out to be an utterly pathetic man with illusions of grandeur. I mean, look at him. An utter idiot dressed like a clown.
Jeez, he's really laying into him. But he's just upset because he lost.
The prosecution's ran aside. I think it's time to declare today's verdict. This is just a formality, but will the defendant please step up to the stand? Young miss, I'm very sorry for the situation you have found yourself in. Very glad you appear to have such a good attorney as a friend.
I wouldn't have chosen anyone else. Oh, thanks.
Now then, without further ado, in the name of Goddess Hylia in the sacred land of Hyrule, here I find Malin of Lon Lon Ranch
not guilty. The fireworks and everything. Good.
Court is adjourned.
We did it. I suppose so. I'm guessing those outbursts kind of soured the mood, huh? I don't think I can ever forgive Mr. Ingo for what he's done. That's fair enough, honestly. Really, though, you shouldn't think about that for now. You're free. Time to celebrate. Guess you're right. Excellent work. I knew you'd pull through. Oh, thanks. Been done without you, really. So, thank you. No, that's not quite right. If you want to thank someone, I'm not the one who deserves the most. Your Highness? I thought you were going back to the Hyrule Castle. Strings didn't put people together here. But I realize I should apologize for what I did personally. It's an honor. There's no need to bow. Not for what I've done. Really, if not for my status, I've probably been carted off to prison alongside that angry little man. Perjury is pretty serious. That's probably not entirely wrong. As usual, you don't give yourself enough credit, Your Highness. How can you say that, Detective? Almost condemning an innocent person to prison. Yes, there are things you should think twice about doing in the future. But it's all thanks to you that the young lady over there finally went free. Come on, attorney, show Her Highness what I'm talking about. Well, I mean, it's both of these, right? Well, it's true. Without this, without knowing about the fire, we wouldn't have had any proof to substantiate our claims. And, really, your obviously false testimony helps us as well. Yeah. Yeah, but just stepped my foot. Well, there you have it. In any case, I'm sure Miss Malin isn't too upset. Yeah, well, sure. Give orders to escort the princess back to the castle immediately. Just in time. Farewell, Your Highness. And so they left. Now, listen to me. I know that I'm too lenient on the princess. Tough times are ahead. Princess will need all the confidence she get to lead the kingdom through them. She has learned to take responsibility for actions too, though. And she will. Her Highness is in for a rather unpleasant afternoon today, I imagine. The urgency with which she has just been escorted out of here isn't coincidental. What's the king gonna scold her? No, is the king been murdered? At the very least. Oh. Now then. Duty's call, unfortunately, so I must be off. King, you did well, both of you. Trust that I'll be able to rely on you in future court proceedings. I'll try my best. That's all I ask. That unpleasant prosecutor seems to be making his way over here, so I'll be excusing myself post-haste. Farewell! Uh-oh. You! Hello. Nice day we're having, isn't it? Tell me now, where did that blasted detective go? My reputation
tarnished this way by some novice attorney from the boonies.
Dramatic much? About ready to burst with anger. Don't be such a sore loser. You lost. Deal with it. Yeah, you got the right verdict. Doesn't that make you even a little bit glad? Yes, I suppose there is some worth in that. What transpired is most unfortunate. I only offer my condolences. Just remember there was the meddling of that idiotic princess and the stupidity of that blasted detective that led to your arrest. If any grievances, take it up with them. I suppose there's some truth to what he's saying. Speaking of the detective, it appears she has fled from me like a cuckoo on fire. Mark my words. She'll regret what she's done for generations. Jeez. Okay. Well, that sure was something. I don't know if he was being sincere or just wanted to shift blame onto someone else. I won't say he's entirely blameless. Never mind that. Do you think you'll be alright running the ranch by yourself? Of course I'll come visit, but I have my attorney duties too. I'll get in touch with the castle, see if they can spare some men to work at the ranch. So as my father may have seen, he really did prepare me to take forward one day. He's taught me well. Make sure the animals are well cared for, just as I always have. That's the spirit. I believe in you. I really want to thank you for bringing the truth to light. If it wasn't for you, I don't even want to think about what could have happened. Don't mention it. I'm just glad everything worked out in the end. And so ended a very personal case for me. Felt like a weight had been lifted off my back. Malin continued working at the ranch, hoping to make it prosper even beyond what her father was able to accomplish it. I didn't really think much about it, but the days following were some of the happiest I'd lived for a long time. Little did I know that a terrible tragedy would soon shock the entire kingdom, and I find myself smack dab in the middle of it. But that's a legend for another day. The hero of law. So good. I assume this is credits. Yeah. Yeah, that was what an amazing mod. Like, I kind of expected the court record to just be the regular inventory, and like you would have to equip equip the evidence onto the C buttons and then present them. But then it was way easier, and it was like actually more like Ace Attorney, as far as the inventory goes. Yeah, that was good. And like, I feel like Dragmire was a fan last name that they gave to Ganondorf. I don't think it's canon. I could be wrong. Wait, Zora and what is that thing? It's like a fish. Put in jail. It was kind of a sad case, honestly. Who's in there with him? I think was that a bandit? They have him playing his organ. That's good. They did a really good job taking the Zelda tunes in the MIDI font, or sound font rather, and putting it against Ace Attorney music. I can see like if they made more mods where they'd be going with it, because you know they have the she's getting scolded. They have the whole like the actual princess though that we know is murdered. Created using NPC make. Oh, that's how they made the young Zelda. This is interesting because that looks more like Miles' office. So instead of an ineffective gumshoe, they have a Impa who's actually there to help out and everything else. special thanks to Lip Dragon. Aren't there licensing problems with that or something like that? Like Lip Dragon got sued, maybe. I feel like Nintendo had a word with them. Legend of Zelda. Yeah. Thanks. It's a good touch having them visit the grave. Oh, look, the credits thank me for playing. It's always nice when games do that. That was good. Excellent mod. A lot of fun. Made me smile. This is like the actual Ocarina of Time where you're just stuck on this thing forever, which is fine. We're gonna call it a day here for now. That was good. Tomorrow we'll do more Xenoblade Chronicles X. We'll do story in Xenoblade Chronicles X tomorrow, so that'll be fun. We'll do chapter 12, and anything else that comes to mind. So that was really good. As far as like next week, right? I'm gonna keep working through Xenoblade Chronicles X. Probably on the Monday, Wednesday, Friday track. And as far as a new game for Tuesday, Thursday, we'll return to Apollo Justice. I don't remember. Like, I don't think we were in the middle of a case. I think we stopped before one started, but I could be wrong. But we'll pop back into it and enjoy ourselves and do a bunch of reading, and I'll drink a lot of water.